welcome you with BNSN, the stock game right here on ET Now. Ashish, I'm afraid I'm going to have to hold you there. Biocon, where the numbers hugely disappointed the street. Let's go across to the management and listening.
I would particularly like to emphasize the fact that our core businesses, that's manufacturing and research services, have been very strong this quarter. And there is a clarification I'd like to make in terms of our licensing income, because I do realize that market estimates have factored in much larger licensing income. And in this regard, I'd like to say that there is going to be inherent variability in our licensing income recognition, because it is linked to development and regulatory timelines. And for this particular quarter, we have only recognized 14 crores of licensing income as compared to 21 crores of licensing income in the previous year. So this does impact the overall profitability, which has been, of course, ahead of last year. Additionally, we must also look at these numbers in the context of post-Axicorp, and therefore the Axicorp numbers are also not represented in this year's numbers. Having said that, we are seeing a good improvement in margins from around the 21% levels to now 29% levels, which are really reflective of the fact that Biocon's core businesses obviously are higher margin businesses compared to the Axicorp business, which really used to reduce the margin contribution, though it used to contribute significantly to top line. So we are very confident. I think our research services businesses have been particularly strong this quarter. We have grown this business 21% at a top line. And of course, in terms of profit contribution, from a sort of break even to nil PAT last year, we have actually delivered 10 crores of profit this quarter. So overall, I think we've had a very good quarter. We remain confident that we will, deliver strong performance as we go forward. Licensing income will ramp up because, there is a development plan which will see these numbers ramping up. And in terms of our growth drivers, we see our healthcare branded formulations businesses doing extremely well. These are delivering strong growth for us, and of course these are high margin businesses. So we do expect significant improvement through many of these growth drivers. Research services continues to be a good business performance for us, and we remain committed to looking at an IPO over the next 18 to 24 months, as I have been stating in the past. So we seem to be moving towards that direction in a confident manner, given the fact that we are seeing good traction in terms of growth overall. In terms of some of our announcements and highlights that we would like to share with you, we are planning to launch our InsuPen, which is the long-awaited pen for insulin delivery, in the next few months. Our supplies of insulin and glargine to Pfizer will commence this quarter. Fidaxomicin, the C. difficile product that we have been developing for Optimer has also just been launched in the US market, and it is expected to be launched in the European market later this year. That is also a very important product for us in terms of high margin contribution, since we are the sole global suppliers of this product to Optimer. So basically we remain very, very confident in terms of our businesses. We are gaining traction in terms of licensing opportunities. We are in discussion both for oral insulin and our anti-CD6 itolizumab monoclonal antibody programs. We have also added BVX20 to this list for licensing discussions, and we will endeavor to realize, if not all, but at least one or two of these opportunities during this fiscal. That's the hope.
Kiran, hi, Chandra from ET now. Actually, the absence of Axicop is really one of the reasons that dragged down your revenue and margin numbers. What do you really see in the coming quarters? Will this really improve? And secondly, you mentioned that you have initiated discussions for partnerships on the oral insulin front. Can you give us more details on this? By when do you really expect to finalize a partnership?
Well, to answer your first question, I think, as I mentioned, Axicop is really a top line, or was a top line contributor. It actually used to drag down our margins, if you remember, and it was a small contributor to PAT numbers. I don't think that this would impact in any way our performance, and in fact it improves our margins from 21 levels to 29% levels this quarter. We expect to really make good the top line deficit that will be created by Axicop, even hopefully this fiscal. So I don't believe that going forward Axicop is really going to be any concern for us in terms of delivering on performance. In terms of our discussions for oral insulin, we have entered into a number of discussions with a number of potential partners. I will not be able to share with you any more than that, but suffice to say that given the concerns that many new anti-diabetic drugs have in the recent past encountered in terms of safety, safety concerns associated with either cardiovascular risk or in recent times with cancer, I believe that we are now getting increasingly well positioned to demonstrate that this is really a very safe drug, given that it's an insulin-based drug. And therefore we are only...
Okay, that's Biocon's Kiran Mazumdar talking about how the quarter went by. The stock price, though, is still under pressure. We did see some bit of recovery kick in for Biocon, but again, it's beginning to slacken in trade, currently lower by about almost 3.5%. 358 thereabouts is where Biocon is currently. But
don't go anywhere, come back after a very short break. But here's how you can participate on Buy Now Sell Now. You can write into us with all your queries at bnsn@etnow.tv. You could also message us your queries at 58888, and you can also call in and join us live on 022 24837 111.